I'm back with part 4 of What If Naruto Was Trained by 4 Kunoichi. Sorry about the last two videos, it got cut off. Alright, so I'm gonna continue. Part 5 C Rank Mission. Ever since Naruto changed his training was up. He didn't mind In fact, he was happy. His progression was what most considered genius. Naruto, however, wouldn't take that kind of credit. He gave the credit to his senseis and his longtime companion. They never questioned Naruto on his change after that. They didn't really care or trust him. They also trained him in stuff outside of combat. Hana was happy to finally have something to train in Naruto. His newly begun heights at sense. It was perfect for her. There were basic manners and politics taught by Kurna to the missionary. There was a human anatomy to the mistress. There was human anatomy by Anko and basic sealing. Yu-Gi-Oh taught Naruto a lot about villagers' law. Ever since he learned Genjutsu, his pranks have increased. Naruto's relationships with his senseis also have been amazing. They kept it mostly a secret from the general population to avoid the hate. Kiba kept silent so many wouldn't know that he was dating Hana. They would keep each other company in public, though he kept his hedge on. He also kept the blindfold on to help him with his sensing. He had improved greatly without a proper. He had improved greatly with. He wouldn't have improved greatly without a proper teacher. The Hokage was aware of his new changes and abilities. At first, he nearly had a heart attack, much to the fox's delight. Naruto made his promise to keep it a secret until he was ready to reveal it. However, neither the Hokage or his sensei knew about the fear collection. They also didn't that he was receiving extra chakra training from the fox. There were some people who he didn't want fear from. When he wasn't with the mistress or the ice queens, as the male population named them, he kept busy. He often trained with Team 9. Tenten Lee were very fond of Naruto. The Hyuga was another story. Neji seemed to think Naruto was a weakling. He tried to challenge Naruto to a fight, often insulting him. Naruto would just ignore him and act as if the Hyuga was beneath him. He often thanked his sensei for teaching him to control his emotions. Even when he slept, he kept busy. He would often spend time with the QB. The fox had taught Naruto a lot of Genjutsu. Even taught him a bit of Kenjutsu. When he awoke, he instantly started training in everything. I love clones, he thought. The fox taught Naruto more about his new bloodline. The more fear he gathered, the more powerful both would become. His illusions would become stronger and more realistic to the victim, and he would also become stronger and faster. If he looked someone in the eyes, he could find their worst fears. However, he could only use Fox Genjutsu with QB's chakra. When he gathered enough, he could use his skill without limit. He wasn't training himself. He trained in Kono. He wasn't just training himself. He also trained the Konohamaru Corps. He hadn't taught them any genjutsu. He did help increase their speed, stamina, and stealth. They were now physically better than Sakura. They had collected a lot of fear, but nowhere near enough. He needed to gather true despair. Training wasn't at all. Training wasn't all he did though. When he, with when with his Heims, he would relax, often giving them massages or taking them on dates. There were, however, a major downer in his happiness. Naruto Baka screeched the Howler Monkey, "Pay attention." His team and he used that title. He, he used that title loosely. There is no team of there. They were no team of his. If any, he would be in Team 9 minus Neji. Naruto had to deal with his team's insulting and constant ridicule. His sensei would ignore him. He uh, he had also neglected to teach Naruto anything, often favoring the Uchiha. Sakura just sat on the sidelines doing nothing but praising Sasuke and ridiculing Naruto. Not that he showed much. He held everything back during the team building exercises and training. He would hide his time. He would hide. He would bite his time to show them what I can really do. He couldn't wait. I even he even continued his sensor training, not even putting a genjutsu over the blindfold. What mission do you want today? Asked their leaders. We have babysitting, gardening, catching too. Please don't say that cat's name, begged Naruto. Can't we get a real mission, not these chores? Naruto, you're still fresh skinning, ranted Iruka. Taking a higher mission will require months of experience. And hey, are you listening? Old man, Naruto shouted. If I don't get a real mission, I'll teach your paper to multiply. The Hokage paled at the threat. He was sure Naruto couldn't and wouldn't do it. Naruto spoke in uncanny Kakashi. You shouldn't threaten your superiors, especially one Dobi like you couldn't go through with it, spoke the arrogant Uchiha. Hokage-sama, spoke Naruto in a lower tone. I've already taught the paper Shadow Clone Jutsu. Looking at his desk, everyone noticed the paper had multiplied. It was so much that the stacks couldn't keep balance. As soon as they fell over, he couldn't tell which he finished and which he still had to do. Iruka, get them an S-rank mission, ordered the village leader. Get it now or else, he was cut off. Hokage-sama, shouted the tuning in disbelief. They are getting... Right, the old leader agreed. I lost my head for a second. I have a C-rank mission, he stated. Send in the bridge builder. At his order, the old man walked in. He seemed to be drunk and continued to drink his sake. He eyed at the Genning. These are the snot-nosed brats who are supposed to watch me? He asked. They look like they'll wet themselves and run at the first sign of danger. He eyed them closely, especially the short blonde one. Everyone was surprised. Everyone was surprised when they didn't have to restrain Naruto. He simply looked at the client and stated, "We are shinobi. We are meant to be deceiving." He used his best uncle smile. "But if you want sinister, then just say so." The minute he saw Naruto smile, he nearly wet himself. Of many, of many, many of the occupants felt the same way. No, no thanks. He readjusted himself. I am, I am the super bridge builder, Tazuna. You are to protect me with your lives. Don't worry, Tazuna, started Kakashi. I am a Jonin, and Sasuke here is my best student. We can handle anything. Naruto and the Hokage frowned at the statement. It was a sign. It was the sign of a teacher playing favorites. I have to talk with Kakashi. Alright, Team 7 called the Hokage. You have your mission in an hour. Go prepare. They, they left. Wait, Naruto, he called. The papers are still multiplying. It's too late, Naruto was already gone. Uraka. Uraka. Help. The aged leader begged. Uraka. Shit. Fucking. Irika looked at the number of papers that grew and grew and grew by the second. It was truly maddening. He didn't want to be a part of it. I wonder how Uncle's doing, he thought. With that thought, he decided to go for a walk, a long walk. It had only taken Naruto 10 minutes to prepare for his mission. He already prepared a scroll for all he needed. In an hour, they were in front of the gates. Well, it looks like the Dobie forgot to pack, chimed Sasuke. Baka, now we have to wait for you to go pack, added the Uchiha's pet. Actually, I have everything sealed away, stated Naruto, showing the scrolls he kept, keeping me from catching a bulky bag everywhere. He pointed to their bags. They couldn't think of a comeback for his statement. Naruto, that's a bit advanced for getting started, stated Kakashi. Where did you... Who are you? Asked Naruto. What do you mean? Asked Kakashi. You're on time, spoke Sakura in disbelief. Just head out, he ordered. On time once they think I'm a stranger. He thought. Sighed. The trip was mostly uneventful. The only thing interesting was Naruto was silent. Hey Baka, why are you so quiet? Asked Sakura. If you're thinking, then don't. You'll only hurt yourself. He was about to respond when he saw a puddle, or more like felt a puddle. Kunoichi would be so insulted if she saw that, he stated. What are you talking about, Baka? Saw what? Sakura asked Sakura louder than needed. Who is Kunoichi? Everyone just ignored her. As they passed the puddle, two mist shinobi jumped out. The duo made their way towards Kakashi, surrounding him with their shuriken chain claw gauntlet. With a mighty pull, when they severed the Jonin into pieces. Sakura saw this and started screaming. One down, spoke the first. More to go, finished the second one. They ran for Tazuna, but Naruto jumped in the way to protect the client. The closest struck with his claws into Naruto with a mighty tug. He disemboweled the blonde. The lifeless body collapsed as his inner fell to the ground. They made their way towards Tazuna, only to be clotheslined by Kakashi, the demon brothers. Two Chunin ranked Miss Ninja. With great speed, he restrained both of them and tied them up. Sensei, cried Sakura, you're alive? She looked towards the body only to see logs. You used replacement, she stated. Yes, but your friend died, stated Tazuna, pointing towards the remains of Naruto. Who cares about that dope? Asked Sasuke. He only slowed me down. Yeah, he's only been getting between me and Sasuke-kun, stated Sakura. He's better off dead. How can you allow them to speak like that in front of your teammate? Asked Tazuna. He died protecting me. He wasn't even an acquainted shinobi, stated the sensei. He won't be missed. It's nice to see what you think of me, stated Naruto, walking from behind a tree. My teammate, sensei, he said with venom. Dobby, how are you alive? Howled useless. We saw you get gutted. Naruto said nothing. He just glared at them and walked towards his team. Good thing he had control, or he might have sent them into a nightmare. Naruto, answer Sasuke-kun now, ordered Sakura. Or else. Or else what, Haruno? He asked with such venom. You aren't even a threat to an academy student. This caught everyone minus Tazuna by surprise. Naruto has never badmouthed Sakura. Even as he started acting strange. In a moment of rage, Sakura charged Naruto with a raised fist. Naruto, seeing this, her attack simply backslapped her. The blow caught her across the face and knocked her a few feet across the ground. She sat on the ground in disbelief. She started up at Naruto and even thought she couldn't see his eyes, but she could feel them. Enough is enough, Sakura, he stated. I want to allow you to continue using me as a punching bag. The others were in disbelief as well. Naruto had struck Sakura. Naruto, that was uncalled for, stated Kakashi. Apologize now or I will revoke your license. If you do, then I will have Haruno punished, stated Naruto. She attacked me on a mission, not including all the other times she struck me. He drew a kunai. In fact, I could execute her right now without any repercussions. You wouldn't do that to me, would you, Naruto-kun? She asked, that seeming only to anger him. Wait, I'll go on a date with, she offered with him. He didn't even seem to think it over. Sensei, make him stop, she begged, running behind their teacher, crying like a child. Daddy's enough, Naruto, stated Kakashi. Stand down or I will have to revoke your license for abandoning the client. This is when he was met with a chuckle from Naruto. I never abandoned the clients, he stated. Tazuna, come on now. At his call, another Tazuna appeared from behind one of the trees. It seemed to be the bridge builders was ready to make a run for it. You sure everything's safe? He asked, gaining a nod from Naruto. Good. Glad that I could have your license revoked for abandoning your clients and your students, stated Naruto, backing Kakashi into a corner. How are there two clients, Dopey? Asked the Uchiha as the Tazuna closest began to fade away. I placed a genjutsu on the area and hid the real Tazuna, he stated. I needed to know who they were after. The kid had me terrified the whole time, he stated. I'm not going to kill you, Haruno, so stop crying, he ordered. I need you alive so I can continue the mission. Actually, Naruto stated Kakashi, hoping to get some revenge. Since these ninja are after Tazuna, as you revealed, we will have to get it cancelled. It's too dangerous. Nice work, Baka, shouted Haruno after regaining herself. Now Sasuke-kun won't have a perfect record. No mission means I don't need you, Haruno. That sent her back to begging and crying. Please, begged the bridge builder. Wave needs your help. He went on trying to guilt trip the team. Don't worry, Tazuna-san, stated Naruto. We are going to complete the mission. That is my decision, Naruto. That is my decision, Naruto, stated Kakashi. Not yours. This is a C rank turn A rank. If you don't want people to know your actions, we will complete the mission, stated Naruto. Are you threatening me, Genin? He asked, and as his rage was at his boiling point. That is a grave offense. No, I'm blackmailing you, like a shinobi, he stated. What was your mojo again? We will continue the mission, stated. We will continue the mission, Kakashi strained out. Dobi, where did you learn those illusions? Asked the Uchiha. Naruto made no attempt to answer. I demand you tell me. Naruto continued walking. Sasuke was angered at being ignored by the dope. He threw a kunai and tried to attack him. The key word was tried. Somehow he was on the ground with the kunai gone. It was in Naruto's hand, which was pointed to Sasuke's eye. Are you attacking me as well, Uchiha? Naruto asked, knowing the question. Maybe instead of killing you, I'll just pluck your eye out. Collecting fear is becoming addicting, he thought. Enough, Naruto, shouted Kakashi. Let's just continue the mission. One sec, the blonde stated. I need to collect my trophies. Well, tell you nothing. Well, tell you nothing, one brother stated. I don't need either of you, stated Naruto. Raising his blindfold, he stared at the brothers in the eye. He looked back in a second as they were asleep. Pulling out a scroll, he sealed the Mist Ninja's claws inside it. Kid, what did you just do? Asked Tazuna. I knocked them out, stated Naruto, holding the scroll. My girlfriends will love these weapons. Like a baka, like she never finished. I will end you, he simply stated, cutting her off, and she believed him. The rest of the trip was without incident, but was still agonizing. The Uchiha would demand his techniques while Haruno would cheer him on. I sense a present, thought Naruto there. Drawing a kunai, he threw it towards where he felt the signal. This put everyone on guard. He realized in their fear. When he went to investigate, he saw a white rabbit. This caused useless to start yelling again. That color is out of season, thought Kakashi and Naruto. What are you doing? Asked Tazuna. Are you trying to give me a heart attack? I'm going to cook this rabbit up, Naruto stated. Rabbit stew is amazing. Oh, and you all might want to dodge. At his words, a large cleaver-like sword came hurtling through the forest. The genin ducked while Kakashi brought Tazuna down. The cleaver impaled itself into a tree. On top of the handle was the enemy. It was another Kirin Shinobi. This guy was... Sorry about that. This guy was giving off some powerful chakra. Better drop my weights, he thought. Sabuza Momochi, stated Kakashi, demon of the hidden mist. Kakashi Hatake, the man who copied 1,000 jutsus. No wonder the demon brothers lost. Sabuza returned. Hand over the bridge builder, the nin ordered, and then added, and the rabbit. This rabbit is going into my stew, stated Naruto. Get your own. Taking a minute to think. You can have the Haruno, he said. It's a fair trade, a harmless creature for a useless creature. I think I'll stick with the rabbit. Enough, stated Kakashi. We won't be handing over the bridge builder. I see, he laughed. Well, let's begin. Jumping away, he landed in front of the lake. Hidden Mist Jutsu. As its name suggested, a mist began filling the area. Everyone behind me, ordered Kakashi. Zabuza is a member of the 7 swordsmen of the mist and the master of silent killing techniques. He raised his headband and uncovered his eye. I need this, he thought. A Sharingan, how does the sensei have that? Asked Sasuke. Well, at least he can't copy my genjutsu, thought Naruto. 8-point came, said master voice. Lyric spines. 8 points came a mastered voice. Larynx, spine, lungs, river, jugular, subcortical, artery, kidney, and heart. He named. Which one will I go for? As the mist became thicker, the fear began to set in. It was getting to all the genin minus Naruto. One of his teachers coughed. Uncle coughed. That he should be ready for a killer intent of battle. One of his teachers coughed. Uncle coughed. Thought he should be ready for killer intent in a battle. That's it. Zabuza made them nice and afraid. The Uchiha was about to slice himself. Naruto felt the chakra signature appear behind him. Using the speed from all of his training, he turned towards the signatures. He impaled Zabuza with a kunai. However, instead of blood, he got water. The whole body just fell apart in a puddle. Water clone, huh? That kid has some skill, complimented Zabuza. Your fight is with me, stated Kakashi. Cannon fight with water clone holding Kakashi. Sorry, but does anyone care about the fight? Oh, that's the thing it says. Run, shouted Kakashi. Take Tazuna and get out of here. This fight was over when I got caught. And where would we go? Asked Naruto calmly. This guy would just find us and cut us down. As he spoke, the area started filling with water clones. You should just leave the bridge builder, stated Zabuza. I have no time for kids playing ninja. This coming from a man pretending to be a demon, taunted Naruto, enraging Zabuza. Let me give you a taste of your own medicine. Handing the rabbit to Tazuna, he stepped towards the water. My own medicine, Zabuza asked before laughing. What what can a kid like you do? You've probably never even spilled blood. Do you think you're the only one who messes with enemy senses? He asked. The only one who induces fear. He allowed his weight to drop so he could adjust. Reaching into his pocket, he pulled out a scroll, unsealing a sword. The handle was average, but the rest was anything but average. The blade was crimson red. The guard was actually a fox head holding the blade between its teeth. Well, that's an impressive sword, Zabuza complimented, but it's out of the ordinary. But it's nothing out of the ordinary. Really, asked Naruto, something sure smells good. The realization hit everyone. The area was lightly filled with a sweet aroma. Zabuza tried to cover his band-aid nose, but the smell got through. No use, Zabuza stated Naruto. To an upside-down Zabuza, welcome to the inverted world. How's this kid upside down? He looked before realizing he was upside down. How did I get upside down? This is the power of my inverted, he stated. I reversed one sense of direction. He looked and saw everyone else was affected before charging. That is interesting, Zabuza stated, but not original. Zabuza turned around to face Naruto. He swung the blade towards the blunt only for Naruto to disappear. A gash appeared on his arm a second later. Naruto appeared upside down to his left. Where he swung, Naruto again vanished, and a scar appeared on Zabuza's back. This continued for a few moments as his team watched in disbelief. How is the Adobe doing something I can't do? Asked the so-called Avenger. I deserve that power, not him, he thought. As Naruto continued to dance around Zabuza, he felt something was off. There was no fear coming from Zabuza. I need to end this fight. Tightening his grip, he charged towards Zabuza. And struck. He brought down his blade into range. He struck and missed. Zabuza had backstepped. The rogue swordsman then swung his sword at Naruto. As the sword came in contact with Naruto, the blonde scattered in an explosion of black rose petals. They reformed into a Naruto a large distance away. As the blonde stood there, he covered his chest. He had been able to avoid a fatal blow, but not with some damage. You're a good kid, but as I said, unoriginal. Complimented Zabuza. You only distorted the sense of light. It's been done, he stated. However, mastered the silent killing technique. I can take you out with sound alone, and you couldn't hide your footsteps. Realization hit. He needed a new plan. He dropped the inverted technique and began to think. Time to pull out my genjutsu. Time to put my genjutsu to the test, he thought. Let's go, Zabuza, taking the stance of Yukia that he had trained him in. Let's see if the member of the Seven Swordsmen is more than a title. This kid is still wanting to fight. Zabuza was impressed. It'll be nice to cut down another swordsman. Zabuza took a swing at Naruto, who blocked it. The blow was very heavy for the blunt, but he managed, giving it a heavy Giving a heave, he barely pushed Zabuza's sword back, giving a clear view of the older swordsman's stomach. Taking the open shot, he jabbed his sword towards Zabuza. The demon swordsman merely sidestepped. He then swung and swatted the blonde a few feet away with the side of the massive sword. Naruto stood. He needed to stop Zabuza and fast. Zabuza made the move, leaping forward. He attempted to a downward slash. Naruto quickly jumped back, but Zabuza was present persisted. He tried to defend, but the blows were too heavy and getting heavier. Zabuza delivered a kick that sent the blonde tumbling back. While Naruto was off balance, he went in for the kill. He cleaved Naruto in half. Naruto disappeared into black rose petals and let them scatter far and wide. While they held the destruction, he reformed a head overhead, coming down to integrate. He came down with the intent to impale Zabuza through the head. The demon of the mist turned and with a massive swing cleaved through Naruto, only to go up in smoke. Crushing snake constriction, Naruto activated. Thank you, Uncle, he thought. Zabuza couldn't move. He was being held by a snake. It began to squeeze him more. More genjutsu plus his chakra, it was dispelled. Naruto had reached him. Dance of the Crescent Moon. Using his clones, he split into 3 different Narutos. The first 2 charged from either side, while the third disappeared. As the first 2 came in range, they struck Zabuza's back, pierced and gutted the first, which had tried to attack him head-on, only for him to go up in smoke. One down. Raising his sword, he blocked the second strike with another mighty swing. He decapitated him, only for them to go up in smoke as well. Where is he? On cue, the final Naruto came above. He delivered a powerful cut towards Zabuza's torso. Before he could strike again, he was cut down. As he looked around, he saw no trace of Naruto. He looked towards the kids' team and smirked. It seems he ditched you, mocked Zabuza, holding his wound. Too bad. Well, who's next? The 2 grew terrified. Before he could move towards them, he was stopped. Looking towards his feet, he saw vines holding him. Sorry about that. String being illusion, the vine continued to grow. They wrapped around Zabuza, raising him into the air, tightening themselves to restrict the victim's movement. Actually, I was just setting this up, stated Naruto, appearing from inside a giant bean pod. What are you afraid of? He asked. Began moving his blindfold. Before he could completely undo his blindfold, Zabuza started dissolving into water, a water clone. When did he? You are good, he spoke behind Naruto, but not good enough. Raising his sword, he slashed at Naruto. That wound was a large gash across the blunt's chest. Thanks to his high pain tolerance, he could barely stand it. Okay, a new plan. Standing at full strength, he summoned a shadow clone with with unspoken with a unspoken order. The clone transformed into a windmill shuriken. A shuriken, he said, impressive hedge, but I'm tired of genjutsu. He then took a ready stance. Besides, you'll never touch me with it. Naruto did his best to hide his smirk. The mistake he the same mistake as my hands made. Taking aim, he threw the shuriken towards Zabuza. As it grew closer, he casually leaned to the side as the shuriken passed him with a slight cut of his cheek. That cut was enough. That shuriken is real, he thought, looking towards the direction it was heading. He wasn't aiming for me. He was aiming for the water clone. The real target was hit. The water clone was dispelled. Kakashi was free. I knew I couldn't beat you on my own, so I freed someone who could, stated an exhausted Naruto. Now you two played nice, he stated before moving towards the land. The two Jonin squared off. They began circling each other. Well, Zabuza, stated Kakashi, let's see if you have enough to continue. They began weaving their hand signs. Water style, water dragon jutsu, they shouted simultaneously. From the water rose two giant water snakes. They towered above all present. Their attacks collided. It seems that they were evenly matched. Kakashi will need an edge to win this. They began weaving hand signs. Now, no brows. Hey, no brows, he called, drawing Zabuza's attention. Ha, you look, taking a serious demeanor, he called. Invert. Zabuza went wide-eyed. Turning his body around, he aimed the jutsu behind him. Water style, giant vortex jutsu. At nothing. Water style, giant vortex jutsu. Turning to the second sound, he saw Kakashi, who wasn't behind him. He was, in fact, to his side. Too close for Zabuza to defend or dodge. He took the hit head on. The force behind the jutsu was too much. It carried the rough nin all the way to land, knocking him into a tree. Demonic illusion, tree binding death. The tree seemed to come alive as it wrapped around Zabuza. From the tree emerged Naruto, as if it was a part of him. He loomed over Zabuza, kunai in hand. Shudder, Zabuza, Naruto ordered. You've lost. Zabuza shrugged but didn't have the necessary energy. The demon of the mist gave a glare worthy of his title at the blonde. He stiffened as two sunburned needles impacted his neck. Then the failed nin went limp. Looking towards one of the wombs, he thought the needle he saw a masked figure. A hunter nin. He remembered from his studies. The figure stood beside his team monitoring him for him to bring Zabuza towards. He did. Thank you for distracting him, the hunter stated. I've been tracking him for a while. No problem, replied Naruto calmly, but on guard. You were here for a while. Why not aid us? As the figure stated, I see. Naruto stopped harassing the hunter and ordered Kakashi hand Zabuza over. But that's an order getting. Do what you're told, Baka, shrieked Sakura from behind their sunset. Alright, said Naruto. Don't blame me when the fake hunter kills us. Fake, they asked as one. Grabbing Zabuza, the fake nin disappeared in a sunshine. Disappearing behind Tazuna, the hunter nin then grabbed the rabbit and left again. No, my rabbit stew, wailed Naruto. What happened? Asked Tazuna. I was ordered to let the enemy live and ended up losing my chance at rabbit stew, Naruto stated. By the way, Kakashi, good night in 3, 2, 1. At the end of their Sensei collapsed. What did you do to Sensei? Sakura screeched. Fix him now or they'll never find your body, he stated, silencing her. Now, Tazuna, where is your house nearby? Dope, I demand you. He was silenced as well. Sleep. The Uchiha was out like a light. He put Haruno under it as well. No real reason behind it. He just wanted her out. Could you blame him? 20 minutes later, they were at Tazuna's house. They had sat Kakashi down in a room to rest. It turned out he just had a mild case of chakra exhaustion. The next morning, Naruto sensed a familiar chakra signature. Running towards the door, he saw one of the most beautiful faces he has ever seen. Hello, my Haim, he greeted in joy, leaning to kiss her. Okay, so that's the end of part 5. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And once again, if you guys could leave a comment telling me what I need to do better or anything at all, that would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, thanks for watching or listening.